Hey everyone, it's Jordan here with another video brought to you by Sawset. A while back my father came up with this pretty cool design for a DIY depth gauge, and we're going to share with you how he did it and sort of a step-by-step, so sit back and enjoy. And my father is working with a old table, just to reduce, reuse, and recycle. So as opposed to throwing it out, I think he found this out of the garbage somewhere. So pretty simple. Basically, he's sort of getting a straight edge on it, as you can see on the video here. What he really needs here is he needs a piece of this oak to be about 4 inches wide and about 15 inches long, and then you'll see what he does with it. So let's continue on our way. Okay, now that we're all sanded out, smooth like butter, nice and pretty, ready for the table saw. We're just going to run it down the middle. Basically, we're splitting it into two 2-inch pieces. So we got two 2-inch pieces that are about 15 inches long, and then we're just going to put them aside and move on to the next step. Next step being is the measuring apparatus. This is basically just a stainless steel ruler that he bought from the dollar store, I believe. We're cutting it down at the 5-inch mark. We need 2 rulers, 5-inch mark on each, because we're trying to create a double-sided ruler. Pretty simple, straightforward. Get some glue, put the glue on the one side, or both, your call, depends how gluey you want it, and then clamp it together, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. Okay, so I know he's kind of cheating here by using the DIY gauge to make the DIY gauge. It's kind of like a you need ID to get ID situation, but I'm sure there's other ways you can figure it out. Basically, we're just trying to work a channel for the ruler to slide in, so you just have to raise it whatever the depth of the double ruler is. It depends what ruler you get and which one you're using. In this case here, it's about 1/8 of an inch there. So as you can see there, he's just sort of cutting it so you get nice slide easeability there. Once you've got that, we need to cut, what is it, I think 7 different pieces there. So as you can see here, we got one at 2 1/4. And just sort of follow along there. I don't need to give you the basic explanation and details of what's happening. Pretty straightforward. We'll just sit back and listen to some nice, relaxing, royalty-free music in the meantime. Would you look at those smooth cuts? Would you look at the precision, the detail? If you're anything like me, you really appreciate precision and detail, and if that's the case, Sawset Pro is the tool for you. If you own a table saw, if you own a miter saw, you want a Sawset Pro. Click on the suggest video at the end and see how great the Sawset really is. Now that all the pieces are gathered, cut, and with a little bit of movie magic, they were stained behind the scenes. You can notice that he didn't stain the areas in which glue will be applied. This is really going to allow for a much better adhesion as opposed to just stained wood. It just doesn't soak in and penetrate the wood as well as unstained wood. So he's just dry fitting it right now, making sure it all lines up right. Note the bottom 3 pieces are the ones that were slightly shorter than the 2 top ones, if that makes sense. I believe they were 2 1/8, if my memory serves me correct, where the top ones were 2 1/4. This allows for a bit of sliding. You're going to need a wing nut, a bolt, and a threaded sleeve. All these things you should be able to find from your local hardware store. You know, first things first, find the center, drill the hole, and yeah, I'll just let you watch this and kind of put it together yourself. Oh, just to point out there, as you might have noticed, he's struggling a little bit with the threaded sleeve. So it turns out they actually go counterclockwise as opposed to clockwise, just because you have to screw into it, otherwise it would loosen as you're screwing into it, or something along those lines. Something that, as you see, he was figuring out as you go along. All right, we are looking good. Everything's coming together nicely, as you can see. So it's all dry fit, looking sharp. Next step is glue, more glue. That's what we're here to do. Okay, so you know, you put the glue on the wood, and then the wood to the wood, and you know the drill. Pretty straightforward here. I'm just going to point out something there. You see how there's a B on those pieces there, the bottom pieces, and there's also a T on the top pieces. It's kind of important that you know the difference between your top and your bottom pieces, so you might want to do the same. Because like we said earlier, the bottom pieces are, I think it's 1/8 shorter than the top pieces to allow for gliding within the tool. If you get these mixed up, your tool is not going to glide right, it's not going to work at all, it'll get stuck, and then you'll be sad, and you know, you'll complain, and you'll make a bad review on our video, and we're not here to make bad reviews, we're all here to make good reviews. So by all means, make a good review, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. That's what we're here for, everyone. Okay, time elapsed, glue is dry, pulling the clamps off and moving on to the next step. We're just missing one major piece here, and that's the base plate, the base piece. Like anything else, we need to glue it together. I don't think I need to tell you again how to glue, but in case you forgot, you put the glue on the wood, and then the wood to the wood, and then you wait. Okay, so we need that piece of plywood there, that centering piece of plywood, 1/4 inch thick there. This allows for us to level it out and hold it exactly where it needs to sit, as seen on this video. Next step here is fastening the ruler in place with a screw, simple pre-drill, screw it in, hold it tight, and then secondary is adding a piece of felt into the hole before you put in the threaded sleeve. What this is going to do is it's going to allow for a nice smooth glide, along with not scratching the ruler itself when you tighten it up with the wing nut. Okay, before we reach final assembly, you need to set your ruler to the 0 mark, right on the 0 line, just so you're on that default setting, so that way when you line it all up, you're exactly where you need to be. Next step, you guessed it, more glue, glue, glue. Glue it, you know, spread it out, do your thing. We've been over this before. Stick it into place and you clamp it. Notice the white piece of plywood in the back there. Once again, that's just to keep it all lined up, so don't forget about that. So yeah, once it's clamped, just let it set for at least an hour or so, and then you're ready to use. Ta-da! The final product. Alright everyone, our time together has come to an end. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've enjoyed making it.